dear members, and welcome to another edition of Asia Global News. The autumn season has begun in Korea, and the HJ Changwon complex is glowing with its beautiful landscape of colorful leaves. So True Mother took this opportunity to take some beautiful pictures with some True family members. In addition, the third Hyojong Nuri Children's Worship Service was held on Sunday, October 31. We will discuss it in detail in this edition and share some news about how the providence is unfolding around the world. Under True Mother's guidance, the third Hyojong Nuri Festival of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community was held. The service started with an exciting physical exercise session led by Hyojong Dream. Afterwards, Dr. Yoon Young-ho gave the welcoming words in which he shared some touching testimonies and asked the participants to warmly thank True Mother who opened the space of joy.
천주 성화 기념 행사의 문을 연 이 효정누리가 그 성화 기념 행사에 맞춰서 문을 열었는데요. 오늘 3회가 되었습니다. 참 어머님의 그 하나하나 여러분들을 위한 세심한 배려로 만들어진 효정누리. 벌써 1회, 2회를 통해 우리 2세, 3세뿐만 아니라 그야말로 3대권이 이 효정을 중심으로 아주 행복한 축제 그리고 잔치가 되었습니다. 누구보다 우리 천일국 미래 세대를 위해 그동안 아낌없는 사랑을 주시고 또 각고의 정성을 다해 주신 평화의 어머니, 우리 통일의 어머니, 참 어머님께 여러분 큰 박수하고 큰 함성을 한번 올려주시면 좋겠습니다. 어머니 감사합니다.
In a Hyojong speech, a young girl from Cheonbokgung Church in Sub-Region 1 shared a dream she had of True Mother. In the Hyojong testimony section, a blessed couple with 7 children told the touching experiences of their involvement in the public mission with a couple of one of their children. Afterwards, the blessed couple of Mushin Chol and Chang Chiu from the True family read a children's rhyme describing True Mother as a person who gives without ever expecting anything in return. The participants also made a promise to lead a life similar to True Mother's. Then there was a readaptation of the Korean fairy tale Nolbu into a theatrical play called Shin Nolbu. It is a follow-up to the play Shin Hungbu. It was the story of Nolbu and Hungbu that became rich. Nolbu was punished for breaking the leg of a swallow, but was saved by Hungbu. Touched by this gesture, Nolbu decided to live with a new heart and attitude. The play highlighted the synergy between Nolbu's thrifty spirit and economic perception and Hungbu's sharing spirit, who finally managed to live happily together with his brother. During the entertainment, there was a game called Hyojong Bingo. The representatives from different sub-regions of Korea participated in the game through an online system. The ranking was given by adding the scores of the participants who completed 7 missions of 9 numbers and completed the bingo. Sub-Region 4 was the winner of this joint activity. Director Yoon Young-ho made the award presentation in place of True Mother. The event continued with beautiful artistic performances. And then the Hyojong Special Department provided some clarification on the organization of the Hyojong Nuri Worship Service. The Hyojong Nuri Worship Service, in which 3 generations of families participate, highlights the programs developed by the Hyojong Cultural Center. It is our fervent wish that through this Hyojong Nuri worship, toddlers can grow up healthy while perceiving the meaning and value of Hyojong. The service should also be extended to churches in all continental regions. After the Hyojong Nuri worship service, True Mother posed for some photos in the beautiful colored HJ Changwon complex. True Mother took several photos at the Cheonjeonggung, Hanwon House, and near the Hyojong Tree, places where she regularly offers prayer for the completion of God's providence. She also took some photos with members in front of the Hyojong Tree. The latter could not hide their joy at being photographed with True Mother. The 79-year-old Hyojong tree is about 32 meters high and 3.5 meters in circumference. It stands majestically at the edge of the Hanwon-Chunwon footpath. On November 15th last year, True Mother named this elm tree Hyojong Tree. On October 14th, she went there and remarked that if we go around the place offering sincere prayers, it will positively affect our health. Just like the warm rays of the sun, the members could feel the warmth of maternal embrace and true love of True Mother during this photo shoot in this beautiful autumn landscape. The 6th Peace Forum for a Heavily Unified Korea was held at the Hyojong Cultural Center with peace-loving leaders and citizens in attendance. This forum, organized by UPF Seoul and Incheon branch, focused on creating internal and external foundations for building happy families, healthy societies, and a peaceful world. Alexander Vorontsov, Professor of Korean and Mongolian Studies at the Russian Academy of Sciences of the Institute of Oriental Studies, gave a lecture in which he expressed Russia's support for peaceful reunification. Afterwards, Mr. Kim Hang-jae, President of IAPD Korea, called for realism in pursuing the ideal of heavily unified Korea. As Professor Jin Son-bae, he pointed out in his presentation on the heavily unified Korea theory that given the logical structure and veracity of this vision, it can be proposed as a viable solution to the Korean Peninsula. The afternoon session started with the recitation of a poem dedicated to reunification. It was followed by presentations on the vision of a heavily unified Korea by speakers from Seoul and Incheon. In his presentation, Mr. Ju Jin-tae, regional co-chair of Korea, proposed the establishment of a World Family Organization. The Peace Forums for a Heavily Unified Korea are held as part of the training of peace-loving citizens. In Benin, a workshop was conducted on education for studying a blessed family life. The workshop instructed on the 3-day ceremony, the meaning of starting family life, and the tradition to 18 couples who completed the 40-day separation period. These families reiterated their commitment to diligently support the providence. In Benin, the 4th Chonbuk Great Works was also conducted in the midst of God's grace and True Parents' grace. Parental Love was the theme of the online festival organized by the Asia Pacific Region 1 Family Federation. The festival was watched by 4,000 people from 20 countries in this region. Regional Chairman Damien Dungley described parental love as a waterfall of love and core vertical love. The festival provided an opportunity to connect attendees to God and True Parents through testimonies of filial piety from happy international families, artistic performances, and conjugal stories from Hyojong couples. The Women's Federation International Headquarters conducted a webinar on the role of youth in family and society. 265 people from 58 countries participated. Interpreters were provided in 6 languages, and a panel consisting of 4 people made presentations. It was followed by a Q&A on the webinar. This webinar was led by a team of young professionals. This team of young professionals was formed in March of this year as an international standard for the purpose of conducting cultural diplomacy as a creative think tank and is contributing to the progress of the Women's Federation achievements. The first speaker, Raquel Shin, stressed that family is the source of happiness and happiness is important in life. The last speaker, Bruna Santos, emphasized the importance of innovations and the importance of educating young people. There was a vote on the topics to be discussed in future webinars, and the commitment of the youth to the realization of peace was clear. In Korea, the dedication of Masan Church was held. True Mother purchased a building in Masan 2 years ago, and after about 4 months of renovation work carried out through sincere devotion and contribution of members, the dedication ceremony of the Masan Church could finally be held. At the ceremony, the leader of Masan Church, on behalf of all members, expressed his deep gratitude for True Mother's love and concerns for them. He promised that he and all the members will always keep in mind True Mother's words and put new wine into new wineskins, and will invest body and soul to give glory to Heavenly Parent and give Him joy again. In Japan, the 39th Songhwa Festival was held in Gunma Prefecture. This festival, which takes place every year, was divided into 2 parts. In this edition, the first was held at the national level and the second at the sub-regional level. In addition, the event was broadcast online and members took part from churches and their various homes. The couple of Reverend Pansangi, regional president of Japan, laid flowers and spoke words of comfort and appreciation for the departed. This was followed by the testimony of a blessed couple from 6,000 couple generation, and then Reverend Lee Sung-man read a poem he had written for the occasion. In his sermon, Reverend Pansangi stressed that with the cooperation of the spiritual and physical worlds, True Father in heaven and True Mother on earth, we will be victorious. Through the Songhwa Festival, Japan is becoming even more in tune with the providence that true parents are leading in heaven and on earth. In South America, 34 leaders participated in a fishing competition to inherit the victorious fair of events that marked the 9th anniversary of True Father Songhwa. The participants met in the Pantanal, an area where nature is still well preserved, to catch fish such as pakko, surubi, and dorado. It was a precious opportunity to experience the historic moments that true parents experienced there when they offered sincere conditions of prayer and devotion for God's providence. In addition, the participants received abundant grace from heaven as they took part in the great spiritual works held at the Jardim Formation Center, which True Mother has designated as South America's branch of Asia Chombo Training Center. The 40th anniversary ceremony of the Sonak History Institute was held at the Hanwon House and was broadcast online, registering the participation of the compilation committee of members around the world. The Sonak Institute was established in 1981 to collect and compile and preserve materials on the teachings and life of true parents, and to use them as educational materials. Mr. Yeon Jin-hyun, director of the Institute, highlighted the efforts of his team, which in addition to preserving and digitizing data, is also developing content that can be used by future generations and social scientists. He also mentioned the formation of local compilation committees around the world, which will be responsible for compiling and preserving data related to the major providential activities taking place in the fields. Awards were then presented to those who donated storage for the digital equipment to the Institute. We pray that the Sonac Institute will go beyond 100 years, even 200 years, and develop into the key organ of the providential history, which will faithfully witness about true parents to the four corners of the world. At the HJ Changwon complex, there is a tree called the Hyojong tree, whose roots and leaves bring healing to people. It is similar to the unconditional love that mother gives to her children. This particular tree perfectly symbolizes true mother. We too must resolve to become children who show unconditional love to our fellow men, just like our dearest true mother. With these words, we conclude this edition. Thank you for joining us, and may God bless you.